being a student leader, it's like lifting a sack of stones onto your back. When you are a leader, you are like a link between the student's body and then the teaching staff. Personally, I remember when I was once a leader and holding two big positions. I remember one was when I was the head prefect in a military academy that is in Jinja. And then I remember when I was also at Winston Standard Secondary School in Ajanakombi, when I was still the head boy. The other one was head prefect, this one was the head. But then, when you look at growing with the transition of how things move, you tend to understand that the students have their own desires, and then the staff also has its own desires. However, there is what people, there are so many quotes that have come up. They say how to make ends meet. The fact is, you cannot make ends meet. And look at how things like, for example, you find that the school has its own rules and regulations. The students want to come up with terms or want to come up with their own desirable principles that really disregard what the school rules and regulations speak. So being a leader is more of being a principled person. You understand the people of your constituency, the people that you're presenting. You understand what they need and how best can you fulfill their wishes. And then you also look at this side of the staff that is governing the school. You look at them and be like, how am I going to handle them? Because at the end of the day, you must make these two parties happy. You must leave them contented that indeed you're there to serve on a neutral basis. Being a student leader, you must of course give an open ear to the students because they expect a lot from you, and it being that they elected you into position, they believe whatever they have as their pain, you are their voice. And here, you must be critically great thinker because not everything that comes up from the student body should be devoted. Because some of them happen in their day-to-day life and they have not been worked upon. Sometimes it could be recklessness of some staff members. And because for you want to be a leader that pleases the staff people, you end up leading your colleagues into terrible situations. Sometimes even the top heads of the school are not aware. They are not yet informed about the current situation. It could be that the food, there is something ongoing around the food department that is not okay. It could be that maybe health-wise something is not good. So sometimes you need to be an open-minded person. And then as well, when you go to the staff, you also need to understand the staff because sometimes it could be that there is a problem within the budgeting department that is causing a terrible situation or a terrible state within the students' affairs. However, there are some situations where you will meet when there are some administrations that are indeed tough, they will not listen. Though for me personally, my lifestyle of leadership, I've encountered staff teams that have been a little bit listening, reliable, and whenever things have not been moving on well, there are people that you sit down with, you discuss what is the challenge, and then you can be able to sort it as a team. Leadership is not easy, but of course, once you give it a try and then you're open-minded, you don't need to oppose anyone having pride over your other colleagues. Because remember, at the end of the day, they're the ones that determine whether you have a vote of no confidence or a vote of existence. So, being a student leader is beyond of just promising, giving them lunch on time. It's beyond promising so many things that some of them even are not worthy. But it is more of understanding day-to-day life aspects and how you will be able to maintain them and understanding how they will live even when you leave leadership. So leadership does not only stay with you, but even the day after when you have left power. What have you put up that your colleagues will benefit from? Even those that will come will always remember you. Those are the things that you fight for or you yearn to put into existence. That's why most leaders have done good. especially some good students who have been good leaders or great leaders. At the moment, you don't only look at putting, but you look at changing, negotiating terms, policies that govern the school. You look at certain things that indeed you find they are a little bit a point of discomfort to the people that you're leading. So all these make up, of course, a good leader. And when you look at being a leader in the university, it is beyond, it's more of being a president of the country, because you need to understand the constituency very well. You need to understand how does the institution operate. Why is it that at this time of interval things are not coming out well? It gives you a point of view on how things will flow even the day after tomorrow when you're not in power. Remember, for you who is in power, you determine a lot of what will happen even to those that will come into leadership. You can change the chain of leadership if you give it a vim of your own principles, and then you look at how you integrate the two sides, student body and then the staff team of administration. Batala Joseph is my name. We shall continue to share more about leadership in schools, and then we can be able to see how we can transit school leadership.